What's good, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. My name is Chike Kamara, Commanders fan, and I appreciate you. And I ask that you please like and subscribe to the channel. Help me to get to 100 subscribers. Let's get with it. So, prior to the draft, there was a lot of, there was a divisive energy in regards to Jaden Daniels. People sort of wanted to put him in a box and compare him to people like Justin Fields and even Lamar Jackson. But there were some interesting things said, and a lot of people who are really, really staunch supporters of Jaden Daniels now actually didn't want him at all. They wanted somebody like Drake May. And I just remember at the time how a lot of people were saying certain things or insinuating certain things about Daniels just based on his race, based on his size, based on his journey, and how it wasn't, and based and even based on his, lack of dominant arm strength. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of maintain that it's not about all that per se. Yes, he's talented, but he has intangibles that you can't measure. And so I used to always say intangibles, intangibles, intangibles. Uh, Jaden Daniels will be the first to do something great. He has like a Doug Williams type aura in that sense. And it's proving to be true right now. He still has the rest of his career to go, and he has to be consistent and not get injured. But you can see that kind of energy there, and he certainly had a bunch of firsts for a rookie, and he's certainly done things that certain Hall of Famers haven't even done in their career at any point. So you, sometimes certain people can pick up on that energy, and then other people they just go by more by what they see based on this person was in the league and he reminds me of this person, so he's going to be like this person. And typically in those situations we pick the best person we can the best person possible that we can compare him to, or if we don't like him we tend to associate him with the worst person they can compare him to that has sort of the same skill set. Like if he can run, they say he's a running quarterback, and he's going to be like Mitch Trubisky and all of that stuff. So I just thought it was funny to look back. I started keeping track of a lot of these after the whole Top Golf gate, and I was like, you know what? I need to screenshot some of this stuff because it was getting ridiculous. And I was like, no, he's not that type of dude. But I got that a lot from my observing him, listening to prominent people and quarterbacks discuss him, quarterbacks that played in the league, prominent people that ran organizations. And I was like, well, all of them are saying this stuff. NFL players are saying this stuff. But we have people that are not in the NFL that are regular Joe, even fans, and they aren't saying the same thing they're saying. What am I missing? But at the end of the day, when I did his, astrology chart, I was like, oh yeah, this guy, he was kind of born on a good sign. So, but that doesn't mean that he won't have adversity in his career. Excuse me. So let's sort of go through a few of these. I really need to do 2 or 3 of these videos because I have a ton of them, but I'll do about 10 here. And it'd just be fun to look back. I blacked out the names of the person during the tweet so that it's not about putting them on blast. It's more about what they said about Jaden Daniels and not who said it. All right. So this first one is Bo Nix is better than Jaden Daniels. And He this was said, I think, around the time of the Eagles game, maybe close to it. And Bo Nix had started playing well. And as you can see, I was about to reply, but I don't think I did. I just left it alone. If I had replied, I would have said, no, this is just a little adversity. And every quarterback has a rough patch in every season. They really do. You know, even if you think about that 91 season when Mark Rippon was torching other teams and the Commanders or the Redskins were really, really like they were an offensive juggernaut. There were a few games where Mark Rippon did not look himself. And I'm sure people were calling for his head or just not too comfortable with him, even after all of that explosive offense that they had. So, Bo Nix, Bo Nix did have a good year. I got to give respect where respect is due. And he surprised a lot. But I also said on Twitter, Bo Nix has got a little something. Don't sleep on him. I'll see if I can find that tweet. But I don't know how you can not look at Bo Nix's tape and see that with the right system, he could definitely be a pretty good pro. And I even said before the draft that if he gets with somebody like my goodness, who is the coach of Denver? Sean Payton. Yeah, Sean Payton. I said if he gets with somebody like a Sean Payton, he could be pretty good. He can be similar to a Drew Brees. I'm not sure if he'll be as good as Drew Brees because there's some illusion there. There's some, but Sean Payton is the perfect coach for him. That's what I said at the time. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Okay, it says Jayden Daniels sucks and is so bad. Worst of the top 6 quarterbacks this year. Poor man's Justin Fields won't be a top 40 quarterback in 3 years. Won't be a top 40. Like now, it's virtually impossible for him to not be a top 40 quarterback if he stays healthy. That is funny. And look at me. I put just trying to get a reaction because that's ridiculous. I mean, you really feel that way? And he followed it up by saying, really speaking facts, because Jaden Daniels is one of the worst throwing quarterbacks I've seen, right behind Fields. All I could do is shake my head. So you can see when that took place, May 19th, before the draft. No, it was right after the draft. I'm sorry, before the season. So let's see. Next up, I don't know if you can see that, but it says, I literally think it's just that Jaden won the Heisman. Also, Jaden's number was a little bigger. Justin, as in Justin Fields, wasn't the most willing runner in college, so it doesn't flash as much on tape. Where Jaden is all flash. Scouts loved him some flash. And I don't know what I was responding to when I said, what about former quarterbacks? And this person said, I had Fields as a slightly better prospect because of his physical traits. But Daniels is better mechanically and was better in college as a player, although you should be in your 5th year. Both aren't good. Both aren't good. He and Justin Fields aren't good. And then this other person fills in and says, because he has a Heisman, just basically insinuating that he's only getting hype because he has a Heisman. So that's funny. I'm telling you, there are a lot more that are way better. But I'm only going to do a few more here. Let's see. Next one. This is a continuation of that, I think. Like the league just watched a run first, holds the ball forever, high pressure to sack, scrambles from clean pocket quarterback, not not translate to the NFL. And now the same guy, this person is referring to Jaden Daniels, but a year older and 15 pounds lighter, is suddenly some people's QB1. Just feels fishy. I really want to know what this person feels at this point. I was watching, I think it was late in the year, even in the close to the playoffs, when the Commanders were making their playoff push. There was one guy in particular that has a YouTube channel that has a video that states Jaden Daniels will be a bust. And he basically guaranteed it. And I think close to the end of the year, when they were on their push towards the playoff, he still doubled down on that. So, okay, let's continue reading this. And also, I've maintained that while Fields had flaws, he was a good prospect that had his most important developmental years wasted by an inept franchise. Daniels has the same flaws, more magnified in some cases, and is going to an inept franchise with a defensive head coach. And this person took up for Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. He said, countless evaluators have broken him down at this point. No need to hide behind debunked narratives and stats that don't hold up based on the film. I think that was pro Jaden there. I don't know. But anyway, there was plenty of that out there. Like plenty of people who felt that way. They kept comparing him to Justin Fields, even saying that Justin Fields is better, and because he's skinnier with a not as strong of an arm. But again, intangibles. Is Justin Fields clutch? You know what I'm saying? That's an intangible trait. Like when the pressure is going, can he strap the team to his back? If he could, he would be starting. They weren't even comfortable enough to start him, even when he was like 4-2 in Pittsburgh. So I don't know. It's just funny. And you see, at the time, J.J. McCarthy was trending. All right, let's see if we can find something else. Oh, the same person. Here's what I don't get about Jaden Daniels. 3 years ago, Justin Fields slid throughout the pre-draft process, despite being a similar prospect, but younger, bigger, and more consistent with college success. Then he failed in the NFL. Why did the opposite happen to Jaden Daniels? And I don't know what the four-letter word means, but so this person must be I don't know, are they a Bears fan? Probably not, because he's not talking about Caleb Williams. He's not talking about the Bears possibly wanting Jaden Daniels. I don't know what team this person roots for. I'd be curious to know. But it's some true hate there. I don't know. Maybe he played with him at Arizona State and was one of the dudes that was like, you suck. So, I don't know. All right, next. The draft line story will be when he drops out of the top 5 and J.J. McCarthy is picked before him. That person said that about Jaden Daniels. The draft line story will be when he drops out of the top 5 and J.J. McCarthy is picked before him. Well, god damn. And you see the date in the bottom right corner, 4/23/2024, before the draft. Next. Oh my God, look at this. The second coming of Mitch Trubisky regarding Jaden Daniels. These seems like Chicago Bear trolls because Mitch Trubisky was with Chicago, and there's a lot of references to Fields and Trubisky. They really hating on him? I don't know. Maybe they aren't Bears fans, but I don't know. But again, the intangible traits, the demeanor on the field through all of the rigors of the SEC that Jaden Daniels had, and this person felt that way. Like that's why there are certain players, if you can get them, you need those players with intangibles on your team. That's how you become like the 49ers back in the 80s and 90s when they were completely unstoppable. That's why you need players like the ones that were on the Cowboys teams that had that run in the 90s. It was like they were all in concert with each other. They all had intangibles and they were unstoppable. They did the right thing at the right time. I said this in my videos before, but I'm just going to preach it until people get it. If I was a GM, I would look for those guys that have intangibles, that have instincts, because you can't measure that. And those are people that get overlooked. And then you're like, where did this guy come from? He's special, quote unquote. And special, a lot of times when people say somebody is special, it's not necessarily just because of the talent they have. It's something else that they can't put their finger on. You know what I'm saying? Like they're ahead of the game as far as like if you're an offensive player and you're quote unquote special, that means you think ahead of the defense. You're thinking ahead of the defense. You're always a step ahead. So that's how that's how that works. But this is hilarious to me. Mitch Trubisky. Let's see if I have any more. Oh, here's another one. I'll give it 6 weeks before the we may have made a mistake crowd starts coming in. I'd bet serious money J.J. McCarthy will be the best quarterback in this class in 5 years. Fans think college highlights auto translate. Most don't. See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of us, and I'm guilty of this too, a lot of people are guilty of this, but you got to look deeper. Like a lot of us see examples of certain people who fail, and then we want to automatically box people into that realm. Like we want to say that the next person is going to be like that. Like college highlights do sometimes translate, but it's not about the highlights. It's about the intangibles, man. So this means that this person was looking at the highlights, but he didn't believe what his eyes were seeing. Or she. I don't know if it was he or she. It's a male and a female in the picture. But that's no, never mind. So, you know, whatever. And you know what? If this turns out to be true, I will applaud and I will look for this tweet and I will tip my cap, salute to this person. If JJ McCarthy is the best quarterback in the class, he got a lot of catching up to do. And I like JJ McCarthy. I wanted him after Jaden Daniels. If somehow Jaden Daniels was taken, I wanted him. I also liked Drake May a lot. But like I said, when I used to watch a lot of his tape, he would have a propensity to make a wrong throw oftentimes, and then he'll make a few wow throws, and that's what you fall in love with. But it was like consistent. He would just make bad throws sometimes. But that doesn't mean he can't get better. He definitely has potential. Like he can be tough. He can be tough. He's like 6'5". He can run. He's got a cannon for an arm. So Drake May, yeah. JJ McCarthy has that little something too. He has some intangibles going on. But like I said, when I did a bit of a review of the quarterbacks, I don't know if I still have the video up. I did it under a sports astrology guide, but I since retired that name. But when I did a review of the quarterbacks from a astrological perspective, I said it's possible J.J. McCarthy might be inconsistent or he might have nagging injuries or something like that. And it was a surprise, definitely, that he was out for a year. I didn't even expect that one. But he has a little something too. All right, so, and Drake May, I'm not as strong on his intangibles, but I do know he's smart. He's smart as hell. And that pays dividends for quarterbacks. Let me see. Anything else before I get out of here? I'm gonna have to do another one because there are much more juicier ones for sure. Okay, this person says he's right, and what this video was saying was, man, yes, Drake May. I mean, yeah, would you take a guy that can be good for 1 or 2 years? And basically, he was basically referring to Jaden Daniels and J.J. McCarthy, and maybe even Caleb Williams. Well, no, no, they were talking about second best quarterback. So yeah, he was talking about J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels. He said, would you take a guy that can be good 1 to 2 years, or would you take a guy that can be brilliant for a whole career? And then he basically referred to Drake May as that guy. Yes, Drake May is a guy I would take, maybe even number one. And then, as you can see, the person that was tweeting agreed. And those look like Commanders colors to me. Those look like Commanders colors to me. So, as a Commanders fan that really wanted Drake May, a lot of people, wanted Drake May. And that's cool. That's cool. Next, here's some more Drake May. As an honest Bears fan, Bleacher Report is absolutely correct. We should take Drake May with the number 1 overall pick. He is a game changer. Let Caleb Williams paint his nails in Washington, D.C. with the Commanders. Wow, okay, this person didn't want Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams. I don't know, it just seems like a lot of people, and it was like a big elephant in the room with a lot of this pre-draft chatter. Like, it was like a little energy here of we want sort of the golden boy quarterback with the strong arm, or we want the sort of wily, cagey golden boy that was very efficient and accurate at Michigan. I don't know. It just seemed like if you, well, let me not go there because this is a response to Drake May and Caleb Williams. It's not a response to Drake May and Jaden Daniels. So that's their problem. He wanted Drake May instead of Caleb Williams. Whatever. But the whole paint his nails in Washington, D.C., I don't know. Like, really? Let me just move on. Okay. Next up. I'm a Commanders fan. Let me see that picture. Part of that picture looks like, okay, no, it's two different people. I'm a Commanders fan, and I've been extremely positive about everything they've done this offseason. But if they draft Jaden Daniels, I think it's a big mistake. This has nothing to do with my bets, which are low stakes. I just rather have J.J. McCarthy and Drake May. I don't know. We get locked into these ideals of a quarterback that we ignore everything else. Like, and I'm glad I didn't do that. Like, you don't get caught up in this person has the prototypical size, this person has the prototypical look, this person has the prototypical arm strength. I just didn't get caught up in that. I want to see that intangible energy that would help me, that I would go to bat with, a guy that I would support and feel that he could pull out the game or do what's right at the right time. So, and there's a lot of tweets like these from Commanders fans at the time. They really, really did not want the Commanders to bring in Jayden Daniels. They just didn't. And I would have been happy with any of those three quarterbacks, May, McCarthy, or Daniels. But I felt that Daniels had some intangible stuff that I could definitely get behind. Drake May certainly might have that too. And like I said, JJ McCarthy has that, but he just has to stop. He just has to remain not injured, you know. And as far as Drake May, he has a little bit of that too, but he has to just be more consistent and not have those sort of off base throws that I saw him have every single game. It'd be like, what kind of throw was that? And sometimes it'll be like a screen pass and he would sail it wide right, like, and the person is wide open. And he just frequently had throws like that. So, that doesn't tell me that he's a bad quarterback. It just tells me that, I don't know, at some points he might be thinking too much. I have no idea. But I would have been happy with any of those guys, but I really, really wanted Mr. Daniels. It was just something about, and it wasn't even about the running aspect of it. It was just about his passing and his awareness and his sense of timing. So let me see if I got any more before I get out of here. Sorry to hold you so long. And that's it. Yep, that's it. So that is some interesting stuff. It's a look back at some pre-draft chatter that was out there. And I'm just glad, I'm sure most of the quote unquote Commanders fans are glad that they have Jayden Daniels now. But it's funny because, like I said in my previous video, my brother, not my previous, but one of my previous videos, my brother texted me. He was like, what do you think about Jayden Daniels? And then I told him all he has to do is not get injured and he'll be good. It won't be an RG3 situation. I told him that. And he was like, okay. And so later in the year, when he sort of stunk up the joint a little bit in Philly on Thursday night, we got into this whole, me and my other brothers, along with him, got into this whole text chain where, I said, Jayden will be all right. He's just going through a little rough patch right now. And then he was like, you know what? I kind of think Jayden Daniels sucks. I was like, he doesn't, but I'm getting old. Maybe I don't see it, but no, he does not suck. No, he doesn't. He's going to be fine. And that's what happened. So it's like we get sort of caught up in stuff, and it's like a meme. It's like we get caught up in the meme and we don't see beyond the trees what's right in front of us. All right, so that's it. Let me know if you want me to do another one because I got some more that I can do. All right, take care.